News from Washington, D.C. Congressman Kilili Sablan chairs the House Committee on Natural Resources. During this hearing, there were discussions on the congressman's legislation H.R. 560 and the recent exemption of the Philippines from the H-2B visa program. We speak with our U.S. delegate for further details.
The committee will now come to order. The committee is meeting today to hear testimony on H.R. 560, legislation I introduced to address the loss of the humanitarian parole that was granted to certain long-term Marianas residents by the Obama administration. We will also hear from our witnesses about the impacts on the Mariana Islands and Guam on the removal of the Philippines as one of the countries eligible for the H-2B worker visa program. Unfortunately, on December 27, 2018, the Trump administration announced the termination of these Marianas-specific parole policies without warning and gave those Marianas residents previously covered 180 days to leave the Commonwealth or find some other status.
H.R. 560 would reverse this decision that was made by the Trump administration and ultimately provide permanent status in the Marianas for those individuals and certain long-term workers and investors. Congressman Kilili Sablan chairs this hearing. Also present and providing testimonies, sitting as witnesses are
the Honorable Raf de Leon Guerrero Torres, my governor of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Welcome. The Honorable Lu Leon Guerrero, Governor of Guam, our southern neighbor, not necessarily our southern territory, but we're neighbors, good neighbors. Welcome, Governor Guerrero.
I am here once again in support of H.R. 560 and ask for this committee's consideration and support of its passage. Issues with immigration are the greatest determinant of the NMI's success today. We live with the intended and unintended consequences of Public Law 110-229, which took that control away. It is our responsibility to do what is right with an effort to meld 3 decades of local control with 10 years of experience within the transition period. To me, that is what H.R. 560 seeks to accomplish.
And alongside the governors are Nick Pula, the director for the Office of Insular Affairs, Dr. David Gutnick, director of the International Affairs and Trade, and Michael Sablan, CPA and Vice President of Finance and Administration.
Last year, we reported that over 80% of long-term workers were from the Philippines. Then regarding DHS removal of the Philippines from H-2B eligibility, with the reduction in the cap, the number of CW worker permits declined by roughly 4,000 in 2018. At the same time, the number of workers with H-2B visas increased from virtually 0 in 2017 to over 3,000 last year. Nearly 2/3 of these H-2B workers, roughly 1,800 workers, are in the construction trades.
Following the testimonies, members of the House Committee on Natural Resources asked questions.
Will you work to get the Trump administration to agree to permanent status for long-term workers, as the Obama administration did? And if so, will you get the Trump administration to support my bill, H.R. 560, which does just that?
Let me go ahead and say this, Congressman, and thank you for this opportunity. I've been a strong supporter for long-term status, regardless of which administration. That's just the right thing to do. So the answer is yes. I have done that in the past since I was in Senate, and I'll continue to do that.
KSPN2 spoke with Congressman Kilili this morning from D.C. He says both of the chairmen of the committee are in favor of the legislation and bidding a vote.
Now we have to decide on what the bill will include. I want to include long-term workers and investors, but the Trump administration did not support permanent status for long-term workers and investors. And so I asked the governor to maybe get the president to change his mind. But the governor did say yes. He promised to try to get the administration to support permanent status for long-term workers. I think he can, and that could be an issue for legislation subsequent to what the Trump administration recently supported. reports.
With bipartisan support in the committee and partial support from the Trump administration, Congressman says it's a matter now to just keep moving forward.
This was also my first time to manage a legislative hearing in my new position as Vice Chair for Institutional Affairs, and I think it went well. You know, it's no secret the Trump administration is tough with immigration, so now it's up to me to put together a legislative solution. Today's hearing was a good first step. Not only did we get support from the administration, but both Republicans and Democrats at the committee.
Reporting for KSPN2 News, I'm Adriana Cotero.